bring in former Arkansas Governor Mike Huckabee now to discuss. Governor Huckabee, good Saturday evening to you. Former President Trump believes there is a benefit to having his trial held in federal court. Why would that be so beneficial to him in this case?
The rules are different, for one thing, Mike, and that's certainly to his advantage. I think all of us look at this case that Fani Willis has brought and say, come on, you got to be kidding. This should never have ever happened, and filed under RICO charges. That's truly absurd. So it becomes pretty obvious, I think, to everybody but the most blind partisans that this whole effort on Fani Willis's part is part of her campaign promise. This isn't about justice. This is politics. And therefore, she's not serious about going after criminal charges. She's calling it that, but she's just out to get Donald Trump and mess up his life and the lives of 18 other people. What we have to look at is that if it goes to federal court, there's a much higher standard. And the fact is, if Donald Trump is being charged in Georgia in state court for things that he did when he was the sitting president of the United States, that it belongs in federal court. And constitutional scholars like Alan Dershowitz have said all along, that's where this should be.
Yeah, a lot of folks believe that as well. Governor, I want to get your take on this. There's a recent report suggesting Fulton County, Georgia District Attorney Fani Willis, as you just mentioned, has evidence that would clear Georgia's alternate electors who've been charged alongside Donald Trump. Willis is accusing them of trying to portray themselves as state electors, but according to the report, she has evidence that would shows that was not really their intent. Take a look. A transcript of the Georgia Republican electors back on December 14th, 2020 meeting shows, this was obtained by the Federalist, by the way, explicitly shows the intent behind casting alternate electors was not to impersonate public officers, as Willis alleges, but to lawfully preserve Trump's legal challenge to the state's election results. Governor, why would the DA seemingly ignore that piece of evidence?
Not only that, but this is not all that unusual to have an alternative slate. I mean, that has happened many times in the past with states when there was some controversy about which way the election would go and were the electors going to vote along with the way the results turned out. So she's overreaching in a significant way. And the fact that it appears that she's been trying to hide this, that could present a real ethical problem for her with the state bar. What I think is amazingly funny, if not incredibly just, is that Attorney General Carr of Georgia is now filing RICO charges against the 61 Antifa thugs who tried to terrorize the building of the Atlanta police training facility. He's using the very tactic that Fani Willis has used, and when the liberals cry out, oh, why is he doing that? I mean, it's just fun to watch them melt down.
What's good for the goose is good for the gander, right? Governor, I'd like to get your response to this finally. Donald Trump last night talking about his reaction to the fourth indictment coming down in Georgia. Take a look.
I'm going to be indicted. I said, indicted? I never learned about that at the Wharton School. Indicted? You're going to be indicted. How about me? I have to go see my wife. Darling, may I talk to you for a moment? Yes. I'm going to be indicted for no reason whatsoever on Friday. And then that happens. Oh, it's traumatic. You call your daughters, you call your sons, and you say this. And, you know, it's a terrible thing. And then I hear a couple of weeks later, I'm going to be indicted for something else, then for something else, then for something else. And now they're saying, don't indict him anymore because they lost credibility. But how about that? You go 4 times to tell your kids, and even the lawsuits, it's all inspired. All inspired.
Well, Governor Huckabee doesn't seem too fazed by any of these indictments. I think if I was under 4 indictments, I'd be feeling a little differently. But Donald Trump just keeps pushing forward.
It's what I love about Donald Trump. It rolls right off of him. And it's one of the reasons why I feel like that he's our best shot in 2024, because whoever is the nominee, if somebody else gets it, they're going to be going through the same thing. The Democrats aren't going to let up and say, oh, it's not Trump. Okay, we'll be easier on candidate X. No, they're not. But I'm not sure that any other candidate, any other Republican running or even not running, would have the wherewithal to fight back and to do it with the kind of humor and charm that Donald Trump is doing it. It's every time they indict him, his numbers keep going up. if they keep throwing charges at him, he'll be at 99% of the Republican primary and beating Joe Biden by 40 points. So everything they do to try to destroy him is only making him stronger.
Certainly seems that way. Governor Mike Huckabee, thank you for joining us tonight. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Mike.